So guys, I wanted to test it out, a new missile for jets that got added this update. Of course, this is already added for helicopters, but now we can use the APKWS pods, or missile system, whatever you want to call it, in fixed-wing aircraft, meaning jets, right? And with that, you can actually do some pretty interesting things. The first thing, obviously, is that, look at this, I'm carrying 42 missiles laser-guided instead of just 2 or 6 in the case of the Maverick, right? So that's the beauty of this thing, is that you can carry a lot of them, and obviously they will do less damage and stuff, but because you can take a lot of them, you can do some funny things, like, for example, destroying a lot of targets, right? So my idea here with the video is try to push these missiles to their limits. So I took a look on the stat card a little bit, and the max range that this thing has, it even appears there, is 5 kilometers, right? But at the end of the day, we're gonna push this a little bit. And of course, I really wanted to actually try to do some things, like, for example, try to push the limits of the launch. So let's see if you can fire them. No. So you have to keep at Mach 1 max, okay? And then you can fire them. Of course, it's good to launch a lot of them in a quick succession or something like that, so that you are able to make them track the same target, you know, as you can see. Which means that sometimes it is, you know, even though you have multiple of them and the ability to just launch one, it's good. But sometimes you need to fire a bunch of them to actually get the kill, because they are so lightly armored, right? So let's try it again. Let's try with one shot only. Let's see. The good part is that finally you have kind of a CCIP there for you to actually launch the rocket, right? Which is something that normal missiles with aircraft, fixed-wing aircraft, don't have, right? Sometimes you will not destroy it, like you see right there, right? This is not a heat missile after all. It is a SAP HE, right? So it's a semi-armor piercing with an HE filler, right? Which is not the greatest thing ever. I would much rather have a heat, but I guess it's okay. Let's try to kill an MBT from the side here. I'm gonna fire multiple of them because they are a little bit more like, they're stronger, right? Okay, they are. You gotta be really precise with your shooting. Yeah, he didn't do anything. He couldn't penetrate, right? So that's the problem. Maybe from above, let's try it out. This is, you know, this thing is gonna be amazing for against the AA systems and stuff like that. But against MBTs, I do have a feeling that it's gonna be kind of bad. Let's see again. Oh, we cannot use that. Okay, doesn't matter. Let me just, you know, precisely move. Yeah, there you go. So from the top, you can actually get the kill. Maybe even with one. Let's try like one. Try to see if it works. We're gonna do a loop. Let's go. Just one. We're gonna be really precise on where I want to aim. It didn't penetrate. So you need a little bit more to actually penetrate an MBT, I guess, right? Let's try to hit the engine, maybe, to see if we can do anything. Because obviously, guys, it is the same missile that we have in a helicopter, but it is a completely different missile because of the platform, right? Because of this platform, you can do stuff that you normally cannot with a missile such as this, right? Let's try to actually aim for the back of the turret there. There you go. So you need to, you know, maybe explode the ammunition You need to be really, really precise. And one thing that I really wanted to show to you guys, because this thing can do damage, as you see, but it's not the best missile ever in terms of penetration. So some of the vehicles that you're firing against, they're not going to do anything about it, right? So maybe it's not the best thing to only carry these things. Maybe carry, you know, a pylon with, you know, half of these and then some Mavericks to actually properly kill tanks that are easy to kill. But one thing that I noticed is that if your CCAP can help you out, because you need to be precise, the FOV of this missile is not the greatest, the 5 kilometer mark is not really fair against this, like with this thing. Yes, you can do more with it. So let's try it out. For example, here we are at around 10 kilometers. We're gonna fire one. And yeah, let's maintain it there. And as you're gonna see, sometimes you can do something like this. Let's try it out. Like that was like 10 kilometers more or less. Let's see if it has the energy. Because the missile will have a time and a battery and everything. But oh, it's doing a lot of maneuvers. I don't know. That was a weird maneuver that he did there. But the thing is, because of the way that you are firing, because you are so fast, close to Mach 1 and a high altitude, and not like a helicopter that you're stationary and a very low altitude, you can make this missile, although only having a 5 kilometer max range, hit targets that are way beyond that. Because the missile is faster, you know, and it has a lot more energy. So even though it doesn't have a lot of battery time, you can make a missile that it's, you know, you can make it work because you are so fast and so high. So again, let's try it out. As you see, it's not the most perfect thing ever, but it does work. So 11 kilometers. Let's see when the CCAP starts to help us. There we go. Why did I fire only one? Too high of a speed. Well, let's see if we can hit it. So that was around 11 kilometers more or less. Come on. And there you go. Hit at the target. I mean, did you do anything? But you get the point, right? You can do some kills that are well beyond the 5 kilometer range. We're gonna try to even push these limits above that, but I gotta say, maybe the missile will not have the range, the energy to penetrate a tank. Let's try with an AA system that only like uses a very lightly armored stuff, like a shield. So let's just lock it up, and we're gonna just fly very far away. The problem is the CCIP, because without CCIP it's kind of hard to aim these things, and you really need to be really, really precise with it. Because, of course, obviously, I mean, like I said, this thing has a very, very bad FOV. So 12 kilometers. I think that's okay. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do more than this. So let's just change it up. I don't think I can launch multiple at once, which is something that doesn't make sense, but yeah, see, I cannot get CCIP help from the actual computer of the aircraft, which is a problem, right? You can try to guess, but it is problematic. So in this case, for example, we are aiming at this target. It was around 10 kilometers, the shot. Let's see if you can actually hit. And of course, let's see if it actually will have the energy to penetrate, because it's a kinetic weapon, after all, right? There you go, and there you go. So you can get kills at up to, like, I would say 11 kilometers, just because of the CCIP. You can get with other situations, but the CCIP needs to work for you to actually be properly using this thing. So let's try it out without CCIP from a further distance, but I gotta be honest, I don't think it will work too much. And again, the longer the missile flies, the less energy it will have. And of course, with that, it will not penetrate a lot, right? So it means that AA systems are probably the main thing that you're gonna try to kill here. So 12.5, let's see a little bit more. Let's see like 15 kilometers, right? So we're gonna just turn here, actually. And of course, we are using the sniper pod over here, which is one of the greatest. Oh, For some reason, it's not... Yeah, it's not working, the button. So we're gonna turn. This is at 20 kilometers, so we're kind of far away. Almost impossible to hit something with this, right? Let's try at 15, kind of aiming, but I gotta be honest. Without CCIP, man, it's almost impossible. Let's maintain a distance over here, an altitude actually. For some reason, once you lock it up and you unlock it, you cannot lock it anymore for some reason. So let's try it out. We're gonna do kind of a dive over here and accelerate as much as possible. And we're gonna try just to see if it will actually... yeah, that's white. If it's gonna track or not. I think it's... Yeah. See, the FOV doesn't work, right? Should have been a little bit higher. So, yeah, and it doesn't have the range. So, overall, I would say 11 kilometers is the max range of this thing. And use your CCIP. Because then you will be able to get the kill, okay? So, FOVs are... It's a very limited weapon, but 11 kilometers, man, against something that is... Oh, it's trying, but he missed. 11 kilometers against a target that is very lightly armored, it's actually pretty good. Against an AA or something like that, of course, you gotta remember that this is a laser-guided, semi-active, you know, homing missile. But at the same way, I mean, it is pretty interesting, right? Because you have so many of them. So it might be like an AA system killer, isn't it? You can just, you know, fire correctly, you can get away from the target, whatever you want to do. You just maintain the lock where the AA is, if you can lock it up, whatever, you know, but one of these well-placed, let's see if I put it in the right place, yeah, yeah, there you go, no, yeah, there you go. In the right place can kill the AA system, and even heavier AA systems, let's see, this thing, this is a Gepard, right? Is it a Gepard? I cannot see what it is. Oh no, it's Roland. Yeah. You can kill it. And even the Thor, like I said, the Thor is a little bit more problematic, I must say, because of the size of the vehicle and everything. So, see? I mean, it's just damaging the turret. So, depending on the vehicle, it depends. It doesn't penetrate a lot, right? So, if you take a look, it penetrates what? It doesn't even say, right? I know it does. So 41 millimeters at 10 meters. Like if it is at 2,000 meters, it's 30. So imagine at 5,000, but this is at 0, you know, speed. So of course, the faster he goes, the better. So you can help. And firing range, like, I mean, it's telling us there 11. You can do more than that. Not by much, but you can. The problem becomes the CCIP and the missile guidance time, only 30 seconds. But it's pretty incredible to use. I honestly... my loadout would be something like this, for example. You know, maybe 3 of them to kill proper MBTs, and then this thing to try to kill stuff, right? Some GPUs over here, obviously, right? Something like this. Then it's a very good, very, very good payload. Of course, here you cannot take anything else than air-to-air missiles, so you can defend yourself. So pretty good, right? But in other vehicles, these missiles got added for multiple vehicles, right? So if you take a look on the A10, for example, you can do some pretty interesting things because, look at this. Instead of having the normal rockets, so see, we do not have the normal rocket. I know we do, right? But in the same place that you use them, you use the Hydras, these guided riders. And why is that a good thing? Because normally, it's good to actually have some of these, right? So most of the loadouts over here, there is always something better to use, but they're very heavy and make these aircraft not be the best thing ever. And even then, I mean, you can take some GPUs and stuff that with the A10, which is a slow aircraft, is not the greatest thing ever, right? So the AGR, they actually give you a little bit more of a missile capability and not only guided bomb, right? So it is pretty interesting. I mean, look at this loadout. You can kill multiple tanks with this. I'm using an L laser guided one, for example, here. TV guided ones there, Mavericks, right? And then a lot of these AGRs, right? and then a lot of bombs as well, so you can take a lot of stuff. If you go to the F-18s, they're able to use this. The F-15s, a lot of nations can use these things. So, for example, here we have the F-18. Of course, I still believe maybe one of these pylons, you use one of these, but the rest use normal Mavericks. But still, for the F-15E as well, you know, you can see. So multiple American vehicles are using this thing. Let's see where you use it. Yeah, under the wings there. So you can just use in multiple vehicles and get a lot of kills, which is insanely good. It really is. Is the weapon of mass destruction that you can stomp, you know, whole teams? Maybe not, but you can get some very cool kills with it. You gotta be careful with AAs because of the range, but still, 11 kilometers, still pretty alright to get a kill in a normal AA system. Just gotta be careful with the Panzers and Bucks and whatnot, right? So, yeah. So this is the APKWS, the AGR-20, right? With the jets, right? I know this missile was already added, but now for fixed wing aircraft, it is pretty interesting. Remember, you do have your HE-1 as well. That can fly a little bit faster, so maybe it can go even a little bit further. But to be honest, I mean, 1 kilogram of TNT, it's double the, you know, the normal one, but it doesn't penetrate anything, right? So maybe you can use this to try to, like, let me even try this very, very quickly. Hold up. So maybe we can kind of do an overpressure over here, but let's see. This is going to be different because in the helicopter, you can not get into the positions where this thing can, right? So we're going to try to kill an AA system normally, and then we're going to try to do the last kill, which will be for the tank above, right? So, yeah, there we go. See? And... oh, he can. So, as you see, the HE is actually pretty good as well. Because it has a lot more pressure to actually defeat low armored parts, right? Let's see against an MBT. This actually... I mean, this turned out to be a very long video, but this is actually pretty interesting. Of course, this doesn't matter the speed that you are or anything. I mean, still gonna just do the damage with HE pretty much. But still, it is pretty interesting. Let's see. Let's aim, like, directly behind the turret. No, you cannot do anything, right? Let's try again against the Leopard. So maybe very like the armored vehicles, like AAs and maybe like a scout vehicle or something. So probably the SAP would be the best one, just for the sake of it. Let's try with multiple. Maintain on the back part there. Yeah, it doesn't penetrate. So yeah, for tanks you need the SAP, but for likely armored vehicles, maybe not. But basically, these are it, guys. These are the AGRs. Very cool missiles, especially for aircraft. It's completely different in the way that you use. So, yeah. I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and bye, guys. See ya.